You were a pretty popular guy on Twitter about a month ago,
Yeah.
and it was you who broke the story that Shane Ray was arrested for possession of marijuana a couple days before the draft. How did you find that information?
Well, I will say that I got an anonymous tip.
Okay.
And somebody tipped me off that, hey, something happened with Shane. You should check this out. You should look into it. Looked into it. I confirmed it. I made sure that, okay, this is the Shane Ray. This isn't just Shane Molitzer Ray, like some random dude out there that goes by the same name. No, it was same height, same weight, same name, same area as his hometown. Like everything matched up. It was Shane Ray.
Right.
So whenever I got all that confirmed, I talked to my boss to say, okay, can we run with this, or what do you want to do here? And we decided, so somebody's going to break it. So if the information's out there, if we've confirmed that it's correct, then we put it out there on Twitter, and everything kind of exploded from there.
Yeah. What was your? You were a former MU student, obviously. Did it kind of hurt you to break that news?
Yeah, it did, man. I covered Shane for 2-3 years at Mizzou. I think Shane's a good kid. I think he made a mistake. I think he made a really bad mistake a couple days before the draft, and it sucked, honestly. Like you see the information and it's right in front of you. And actually, when I got the tip, I was doing a podcast at that time with a guy named Duke Miniweather, who trains offensive linemen down in Arizona. And I finished the podcast, and I was like, hey, Duke, I think there's going to be some really bad news about Shane coming up here in a few minutes. He's like, man, what's going on? And I told him. He was like, that sucks. It's just, it's a bummer, man, because you put yourself in these guys' shoes, right? Like, say you're Shane Ray, and you know this is coming. Like, somebody's going to break this news, and you know it's about to come out. And you just got to be thinking, like, I can't believe I did that. Like, what a stupid mistake. And like I said, he's a good kid. Made a bad mistake, but yeah, it broke my heart to see that. It sucks. It's a bummer.
But you yourself, you got a little more popular on Twitter. Did you gain a lot of new followers? A lot of, your name is out there a little more now.
Yeah, I mean it's a good thing in some ways because it's a scoop. I mean, when you break news that's helpful for KTGR, for our station, for our show. I mean, we were named in like the Big Lead, Bleacher Report, ESPN, like. That stuff's good, but again, it sucks. Like exactly, it's part of the job, and I understand that, and I get it. I don't love that part of the job, but yeah, it is very good for my career, for our show, and for our station.
It's part of being a journalist.
That's right.
Well, kind of shifting gears to current MU football. I saw you tweeted something about Saturday Down South having Mizzou, the second-ranked team coming out of the East this year. You think they're going to finish second?
I think so. I think that's most realistic. Like, if you ask me, can they finish first? Yeah, I think they can. If you ask me, can they finish fourth? Yeah, I think if you see South Carolina take a big step up, if you see Florida take a big step up, it's possible. Right. But I would say the most realistic, the most likely scenario is Mizzou finishes second, right behind Georgia, because I think Georgia's going to be really good this year, man. Nick Chubb is a Heisman candidate. The defense should be outstanding. I think they're going to be really, really good. And the big question to me is what happens in that Tennessee game. Because if MU beats Tennessee, then they're really slotted in that 2 spot with the chance to jump up to number 1. If they lose that game, though, it could go downhill. It's a big question mark, but I do think second is probably the most likely.
Okay, now, does this come on the heels of there was another dismissal. One thing was last week or 2 weeks ago. Marcus Loud, starting defensive end, projected starting defensive end. So does that change how you look at this? Because he was supposed to be a big time contributor this year.
Yeah, I think it does. I think you have to. I think if you're saying to yourself right now, the loss of a guy that was supposed to come in and start right away and was supposed to be okay. Let's look at the defensive end position. Right, They had 2 guys coming back that had any experience last year. And everybody else behind them is either a redshirt freshman or a JUCO kid, Marcel Frazier, who's coming in, none of which have played it down in the SEC, which is fine. You can contribute that way, but typically the way Coach Cool likes to do it is you get 1 year behind these guys, and then you come in and you're the starter. You have a rotation player, then the starter. And this year it's not going to be that way. It's going to be one guy who is rotation last year and then a starter, and the other side is going to be a brand new starter that's never played in the SEC. So to say that you're not going to have any step down, I think is foolish. I think you're going to have a step down, but the question to me becomes, can the guys inside, because I think that's going to be the strength of Mizzou's defense this year, is those defensive tackles, can they step up and kind of contribute in a way that you would have expected from the defensive ends? I think the answer to that obviously is still to be seen, but it's possible, yes, they could.